and welcome to another episode of Baranov TV, designed to demystify the world of accounts and tax and to help your business grow. What do you do when you're struggling to get stuff done? First off, you're not alone, because this happens to all of us at some point or another. But how do we move past that and push through so that we can get stuff done that we really need to? That's what I'd like to talk about in this episode. Because we all have days when we're overwhelmed, which we talked about back in episode 71. But one of the biggest things that all of us battle at some stage is just having the willpower and the motivation to get on with things and just get it done. We know that we need to do it, and it doesn't matter if you're a single person business or you have a team of 15 or 50, we all still have days when we're just not feeling the enthusiasm that we do on other days when we jump out of bed and rush to the office. So what are some things that we can do to push through, to find the motivation to get some of these things done so that we feel good about ourselves and so that we feel that we're being productive? I think the first thing to realise is that there's really two things that really battle against our productivity. The first is, like we just mentioned, finding the willpower to do the things that we need to do. The second is managing the distractions, which is a whole other subject. So when you're struggling to find the willpower to get on, what's happening really is that your current self is battling with our future self. Our future self knows what we need to do, and it knows that we're going to feel really good once we've got that stuff done. So if we have a project hanging over us or just the regular to-do things of running the business, we know that when we get those things done, we'll feel really good and everything within the business will run more smoothly and everything will just feel easier. But then we have our current self, which is how we're feeling today. And we might be really tired from a mad busy week, or demoralised because sales aren't quite where we'd like them to be, or because cash is tight, or maybe because we're inundated with new inquiries, we just can't deal with proposals fast enough. Either way, you're just not ready to tackle the next project of task. So when you feel that way, first off, you're definitely not alone, as I mentioned before. We just need to figure out some tricks and some tactics to be able to power through and get on. One of the first things we can do, of course, is to work out our to-do list. And as I mentioned before, I talked about the best way to work that out in episode 71. So if you haven't watched that one yet, it might be worth taking a look at, and I'll pop a link in the pop a link to that episode underneath this one to make that easier. Or you can find it in the Client Hub on the website. So once you have your to-do list, we need to rank what that to-do list and pick out the top 2 or 3 things that are the ones that are hanging over us all the time. So you need to work out what are the things that we've been putting off longer, that we don't really want to do, that require quite a lot of emotional energy or willpower to sit down and just get them through. We need to move those to the top of the to-do list, circle them and highlight them or whatever. These are things we've been putting off and moving from day to day, and those are the things that pop up into your brain just as you're about to drop off to sleep at night. You know you really need to get them done, and you feel that you're disappointed or frustrated or generally just not happy that they're still sitting there and they're still waiting. So now we need to look at how to look at those things and say, okay, I might not have the energy right now to do the whole thing, but what could I work on for 5 minutes? We're literally just going to take those 5 minutes and make a start. You could say 15 minutes or 25 minutes, but some days even 25 minutes just doesn't feel achievable or doable. But 5 minutes you can actually find. So what can you do for 5 minutes? That gives you the headspace to accept you're not going to be able to complete the whole thing, but it allows you to know that that's not your goal for today. Your goal is to do 5 minutes, which will help you feel far more positive that you've actually made a start and you've got some of it done. And of course, we all know that what's going to happen when you do that a lot of the time, you're going to feel like taking it actually a little bit further because you've realised that it's actually easier than you thought. And the second thing we can do if we're just still not really ready is to imagine what it would feel like to have that thing done. Again, we're finding our current self warring with our future selves because our future self knows that it's going to feel really good to finally tick that project off the list. But it's sometimes hard for us when we're not feeling like it to make that connection between the two. So if you take a minute and just literally imagine what it would feel like to have that project done, what would it feel like to be able to cross it off the list and not to have to carry it forward to another day or another week or worse? That's usually enough to get you going to at least tackle it for 5 minutes or 15 minutes. Alternatively, try rewarding yourself Look at those top items that are hanging over your head that we really want to get done today. How could we reward ourselves? Would it be some time on social media where we don't feel guilty for flicking at Facebook or Twitter or one of those things because we know we've got things done? Would it be calling a friend just to catch up for 10 minutes, just to get away from work? Would it be going out to lunch with a friend or a colleague? Any time that we can spend some time with people that can be really rejuvenating to us and might make us come back from lunch feeling re-energised to tackle even more things on our list, those are really good things to do. Another thing could be, what could we do to boost our energy levels if we're feeling a little bit low anyway? Do we just need to get outside and go for a walk for a few minutes, just a change of scenery or a bit of headspace? Or is there something else that we might like to do instead? Because our mood plays a big role in how much we can get done on a daily basis and what we feel like doing. So if there's some things that we can do to boost our mood, then we're more likely to tackle the things on our list. Another tactic that works really well for me is a change of scenery. So if I have a lot of emails that I need to get through, or maybe several blog posts to get written, or Baranov TV episodes to plan and to come up with content, etc., I might go and sit in a coffee shop. And there's something about having a hot chocolate and my headphones in and a buzz around me that means that I can fly through things far quicker at times than if I'm just sitting here at my desk. It's daft because my office is set up to work really well for me, but sometimes we all just need a change of scenery, a change of mood, and just a lift and maybe some hot chocolate. But research has shown that this is really a muscle and it gets exercised and then the process gets easier. So if you can push through for 5 minutes today to do the things that you don't want to do, then tomorrow when you do it again, it's going to be slightly easier and then easier and easier and easier as the days goes on, because you're conditioning your mind and your body to recognise that you're inflating the jobs and to realise that if you can just get to work on it for 5 minutes, then the results can be huge and you can actually get through a lot more than you anticipate. As we do that, we also end up realising that a lot of times we can get through things far quicker than we've imagined and we've built them up to be so huge. By doing this every single day and starting with the hardest stuff and push it through it, even if it's only for 5 or 10 minutes at a time, we're then creating a positive pattern and that makes things easier. We might look at really productive people and wonder how they manage to get so much stuff done. But what they've actually usually done is to work out how to push past their own lack of motivation to get the stuff done that they need to. That doesn't mean that they're highly productive 8 hours a day or even longer. It just means that they've found some pockets throughout the day where they know that they can push through to get these things done that they know they have to get done that day. I'd love to know what tips you have for pushing through and getting things off your to-do lists, because I am definitely not immune to this. There are days when I really struggle. So please do share your best ideas. Let us know. Let me know how you find this if you give it a go, and I'll see you all very soon.